6 shocking sex facts about women every man must know. Did you know that the clitoris has over 8,000 nerve endings, more than twice the number found in the penis? This unique organ is designed solely for pleasure and extends inside the body, wrapping around the vaginal canal. It's a beautiful piece of sexual anatomy that can be both mysterious and incredibly rewarding to explore. This findings was first reported in 2005 by Helen O'Connell. So if you think about it, the clitoris, as we understand it, is less than 20 years old. Here are 6 shocking sex facts about women every man must know. Do stay to the very end, as it's going to be interesting as it is eye-opening. 1. It takes around 20 minutes for a vagina to become aroused. When a vagina is aroused, it lubricates and grows in size. In fact, it can double in size. And while a penis can take a few minutes to arouse, a vulva can take much, much longer. It can take women 20 to 40 minutes to be fully physiologically aroused. That's not to say you can't come within a few minutes with the right toy or in the right context. But if we're looking at full physiological arousal, which is the clitoris becoming engorged and becoming erect and swelling, the vaginal canal becoming more lubricated, it takes time. The consequence of not being fully aroused is basically that sex isn't going to be as pleasurable at best, or it could be painful and unpleasant, while 20 minutes sounds like a while. It should be noted that this count begins from the first erotic stimuli. This could start with some prolonged eye contact, some light touch, a sexy conversation or movie. However, if you go from nothing sexy to a few kisses to penetration in a handful of minutes, you're not only missing out, but you could be doing some serious damage. If a vagina is not adequately aroused or lubricated, you risk a greater chance of scratching, tearing, or friction damage, which can also make a woman more susceptible to pain and infection. This is why lube is always your friend. 2. Only 18% of women orgasm from penetration. One crucial thing to know if you're having sex with women is that only about 18% of women orgasms solely from penetration. This means the majority of women require other forms of stimulation, such as clitoral, oral, or manual stimulation to reach orgasm. The clitoris, often called the powerhouse of pleasure, contains over 8,000 nerve endings, making it a key player in sexual satisfaction. For many women, focusing solely on penetration not only overlooks this vital aspect of female anatomy, but also misses the opportunity to connect on a deeper level by prioritizing your partner's unique needs and desires. Great sex is about communication, exploration, and ensuring both partners feel seen, heard, and satisfied. Taking the time to understand how your partner's body responds can transform intimacy into an experience that's both pleasurable and meaningful for you. Both 3 vaginas aren't that big, but the clitoris is probably bigger than you think. When it comes to women's anatomy, there's more than meets the eye. Vaginas aren't as deep as you might think on average. An unaroused vagina is about 7 to 8 centimeters deep, expanding to around 9.5 to 11 centimeters. When aroused, compare that to the average direct penis size of 12 to 14 centimeters, and you'll see that bigger is better is not just a myth, it's completely unnecessary. You don't need to wield something massive to make a woman feel good. It's about technique, not size. Now let's shift the spotlight to the clitoris, the true MVP of pleasure. The clitoris is much bigger than what's visible on the surface. The part you can see, the glands and hood, is only the tip of the iceberg. 90% of it lies beneath the surface, extending approximately 9 centimeters into the body. Even cooler, the entire clitoris is made of erectile tissue, meaning it swells and becomes even more sensitive when aroused. This is why understanding and appreciating the clitoris is key to creating pleasurable experiences. It's not about size or gimmicks. It's about knowing what matters and making it count. 4. The orgasm gap. When it comes to sex with women, one thing you absolutely should know is the reality of the orgasm. Gap research paints a striking picture. 95% of heterosexual men report usually or always orgasming during sexual encounters, compared to just 65% of heterosexual women. Interestingly, lesbian women fare better, with 86% regularly orgasming during partnered sex. These numbers suggest a critical disparity, often misattributed to the myth that the female orgasm is biologically elusive. In truth, the issue lies more in education, communication, and how we define sex and pleasure. For instance, women tend to orgasm 92% of the time during solo sessions, which highlights that the barriers are not biological but behavioral and cultural. A major factor is the lack of sufficient clitoral stimulation in partnered sex, a vital element for many women to experience pleasure. This invites us to rethink what constitutes good sex, shifting away from outdated penetrative-focused narratives and embracing a more inclusive, pleasure-oriented approach. Talking openly, understanding anatomy, and prioritizing mutual satisfaction can help close this gap and create more fulfilling experiences for everyone involved. 5 abolish goals for the best sex of your life. When it comes to having the best sex of your life with women, one of the most transformative things you can do is ditch the idea of goals altogether. Seriously. Let it go. Stop measuring success by orgasms, performance, or ticking boxes. Instead, focus on the moment, the connection, and the sheer pleasure of exploration. Removing this pressure opens up a world of possibilities, especially for anyone who struggles with performance anxiety. By shifting your attention from outcomes to the experience itself, you create space for curiosity, playfulness, and genuine intimacy. Sensual touch, emotional presence, and honest communication become the cornerstones of a deeply satisfying connection. Remember, great sex isn't just about the mechanics. It's a holistic experience that blends the physical, emotional, and even spiritual. When you let go of the need to achieve something, you might find that the journey itself is far more thrilling, meaningful, and pleasurable than any destination. 6. Pleasure is diverse. There are no experts regardless of how much sex you've had. You are never an expert in someone else's body. You might have all of the tips and all of the trips, but if you're not asking them what they want, or if you're not approaching sex with the idea that you're co-creating an experience together, and if you're focused more on a performance or trying to prove how good your skills and technique are, that's likely not going to be a great experience. There is so much diversity among women regarding what is pleasurable. There is no one size-fits-all approach to sexual pleasure and preferences. VAR widely in terms of types of touch, pressure, shape, and pattern. This emphasizes the importance of communication, exploration, and a willingness to learn and adapt in each unique sexual relationship. Conclusion: understanding these 6 facts can completely transform how you approach intimacy with women. It's not about having all the answers or perfecting a script. It's about being curious, communicative, and attentive to your partner's unique needs. Women's sexual pleasure is diverse, complex, and beautiful, and when you take the time to learn, listen, and explore together, the experience becomes richer and more meaningful for both of you. Remember, great sex is about connection, not perfection. So take these insights, start a conversation, and redefine what pleasure and intimacy mean in your relationships. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering content. See you next time.